Today, we're going to be talking about transitioning back to campus in an ever-changing world. This presentation was adapted from slides by Dr. Christine Catapon, Senior Staff Psychologist at the UCI Counseling Center. The presentation was put together and collaborated on by all the members of the Return to Campus Committee at the UCI Counseling Center. The UCI Counseling Center and the UC Irvine campus are located on the homelands of the Hygiene and Tongva peoples who, in the face of ongoing settler colonialism, continue to claim their place and act as stewards of the ancestral lands as they have for the past 8,000 years. This region extends from the Santa Ana River to Aliso Creek and beyond. We extend our land acknowledgement. Today, we're going to be talking about several different topics. First, we'll have a discussion about socializing on campus. Then we'll move into some tips for attending class, tips for time management, physical distancing, managing Zoom fatigue, general coping strategies, and we'll end with a discussion of the services available through the UCI Counseling Center. Grief and loss can impact people in different ways, especially during this pandemic. As we transition back to campus, this may be a time where we reflect on different types of loss we experienced during the pandemic. These are a list of circumstances that we are having to deal with as we return to campus. They include social loss, changes in friend groups, long-distance friendships, personal loss, including the passing of family members, friends, partners, or other loved ones, academic loss as we move to virtual learning, worries about your academic future, collective grief from political and environmental events. These include isms like racism, sexism, heterosexism, ableism, ageism, classism, xenophobia, and religious prejudice, violence, oppression, and acts of hate that are going on in the world. It's important to acknowledge grief and loss that you're experiencing. Grief includes grief and loss due to death of a loved one, but it goes way beyond just that. It includes all of these listed on this slide. So as we're coping with grief and loss, we're also moving through the transition back to on-campus life. And many people may be struggling with how to be social again in a real life environment. So we wanted to address this head on at the start of the presentation and share that you're not alone. A lot of people are nervous about seeing people in real life. So as you're moving through this, we just encourage you to acknowledge your feelings, be aware of your feelings first and foremost, to be mindful, acknowledge any feelings that are coming up for you. And then just make conscious choices about how you're going to want to cope with those feelings that are coming up. So some strategies you might use are consider planning some social meetups over the summer before you start in the fall. You can familiarize yourself with places to eat and hang out near campus. You want to communicate your needs when you engage socially. Recognize that everyone's comfortability with socializing may be different. Feel brave enough to share your level of comfort with current CDC, county, state, and UCI guidelines and requirements regarding COVID-19 safety. So it's important to be honest and open, to have conversations focused on catching up, seeing how everyone else has spent their time during the pandemic. It might be an adjustment just seeing people in general, and you can discuss possible ways to connect regularly with others to help you get used to it. Again, overall, we just encourage you to be open and honest about your feelings, to communicate your needs to others, and to be brave enough to share your current boundaries, your considerations for public safety and physical distancing. Moving back to campus and having roommates again may also be an adjustment. So we really encourage you to speak up front to your roommates about expectations. You want to talk about noise expectations, sleep times, lighting, storage of belongings, expectations about having visitors over. And again, to feel brave enough to share your level of comfort with the current guidelines and requirements regarding COVID-19 safety. Speak up to your roommates about what you're comfortable with and what your boundaries are. Another area that we're having to adjust to is back to attending classes in person. So it's important as you prepare for this to find out closer to the fall quarter if your classes will be completely online, completely in person, hybrid, and whether there will be asynchronous ways of learning the material. You're going to want to familiarize yourself with the campus and how long it takes to get around to the various buildings and locations. Larger classes may make it feel more difficult to ask questions than writing something in the chat box. So you want to be aware of this and be mindful to make note of your questions as they come up, to feel comfortable speaking up with them in class, or to find a way to connect with professors and TAs for ongoing support during office hours or learning sessions to get answers to your questions. Managing time is another struggle that we're all going to have to work to readjust to. It's really important to give yourself enough time to get to your classes in person. We want to plan for study groups both in person and online. Recognize that you will have to attend lectures at the time they are scheduled. You may not have asynchronous lectures to depend on for your schedule. And rolling out of bed was a lot easier to just log on and hop into a class when it was asynchronous or online. So now you're going to need to plan ahead for the length of time that it takes to physically get up, get ready, get to your classes on time, and be prepared to learn and study. Commutes to your campus need to be taken into consideration. So make sure that you're allowing time for traffic, for travel, for parking, which is going to be a big concern. All of those things, factoring them into your time and your schedule. Sleep hygiene is so important and crucial for good mental health and good physical health overall. Sleep hygiene refers to creating a routine to help you get good sleep. According to the National Sleep Foundation, young adults need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. These are some tips for creating a good sleep hygiene routine. We encourage you to reduce your screen time before bed. Try a relaxing practice such as a skincare routine or stretching immediately before bed. Do not eat or drink late at night. Do not exercise right before bed. And listen to sleep meditations can always be helpful. If you're not familiar yet, we're going to talk towards the end about counseling center services, about the TAO self-help program, which has a whole bunch of meditations available for free that you can download the app or go on the website and access. So we'll touch on that later in the presentation. More tips for sleep hygiene. Adjust the room temperature and turn off lights so that you're comfortable. We encourage you to separate your work and sleep space when possible. Set up your bedroom to be a comfortable space. If living with a roommate in the dorms, discuss your bedtime routines and expectations. You can also check out our Counseling Center YouTube playlist about sleep hygiene, which includes more details about how to create a bedtime routine to help you be successful. If you're physically distancing, here are some coping strategies that we encourage you to utilize. Schedule virtual or phone dates with others on a regular basis. Set up virtual social game nights, like using House Party, Jackbox games, Scribble, etc. These can be really fun ways to connect with people and still feel social, even when you're just in the comfort of your own home. We encourage you to get out and do physical activities where you can physically distance, like going on hikes, playing tennis, riding bikes, and other similar activities, as you feel safe, of course. Identify places with outdoor eating areas or parks to meet up with friends safely. It's important to still keep your social life going, even as we physically distance from others. We're going to cover some general coping strategies for academic success. We encourage you to create a designated study space. Remove distractions, like put your phone on alarm mode or use timers and alarms on your phone to help you focus and set aside chunks of time to study and to take breaks. Create a schedule and be consistent. Consider commuting to class. And by that, we mean having some time and a routine in the morning of what you do before you start class or before you log on to an online class. Talk to your professors, TAs, and classmates. Keep open communication with them to help you be successful. Take breaks is so important. You can try studying for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break, and alternate that pattern for a total of 2 hours. You want to keep an eye and manage your procrastination. Procrastination is very common, but there are a lot of ways to tackle it. And the Counseling Center offers several workshops throughout the year to help you with strategies to address this. Next up, we're going to talk about some coping strategies for Zoom fatigue. Zoom fatigue is real and it affects all of us. So one thing that's really important to manage Zoom fatigue is avoid multitasking. When you're in a meeting or attending a class, try to just do that and not be also checking emails or working on another document or doing other tasks on the side. That can really exhaust you. You want to reduce your on-screen stimuli. So expand the page of the view for your class and be able to just focus on one thing at a time. Make virtual social events opt-in. So allow people the choice of when and if they want to join. You can also switch to phone calls or email if it's possible to try to minimize some of your Zoom fatigue and Zoom meetings that you have. We also love the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at an object 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds to take a break from the screen. You get bonus points if you actually get up and move from your seat to see the object. These breaks can be really crucial physically, mentally, and emotionally. Coping strategies for returning to campus. If you are a current first year or recent transfer student, consider getting an official campus tour or taking a tour with your friends to familiarize yourself with the campus and the buildings where your classes will be. This is going to be critical for you getting adjusted to campus and knowing all the great resources that are available to you. Make plans with friends to meet up in person on campus or virtually. Research clubs and organizations that you want to participate in and when their meetings will be held. UCI has a whole slew of websites and online campus pages through the campus orgs and campus groups pages that you can check out. We also encourage you to check out bewell.uci.edu, which has a whole bunch of search fields for different topics that you can look up resources and groups for. Start adjusting your sleep schedule to get ready for those 8 a.m. classes. Those are going to be crucial as well. We encourage you to do some practice runs. How long does it take you to travel to different areas on campus, to certain buildings, to park, to walk to where you need to get to? We encourage you to plan regular times to eat, sleep, and study. Some general coping strategies for good mental health include making time to unwind. Having downtime is so critical. College can be very busy, very exciting, very packed, but having downtime can really help you to manage stress. Deep breathing is another critical skill to have. There are so many apps available for this, as well as just YouTube videos, searches you can do online for all types of different patterns for deep breathing and rhythms to have. Generally just breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth for a few seconds each. Some people like to hold the breath for a few seconds in between and then also hold it on the exhale. That can be helpful. But just working on your deep breathing and being conscious to make sure you are taking deep breaths throughout the day and especially in moments of stress. We encourage you to stay in the present moment. So try to avoid focusing too much on the past or lingering on worries about the future. Focus on today, the things you can control, and what you have power over. Exercise for good health. It's important to have a regular exercise routine, even if that's getting out for a walk around Ring Road, going to the Arc, having a routine in your weekly schedule that includes exercising. Be mindful to support your immune system. So healthy eating is important, your diet and all of those balancing your nutrition is very important. Take breaks from the news and social media. Actively connect with loved ones and seek professional help if needed. That's what the Counseling Center is here for. There are so many campus resources available to you. The Counseling Center, we're going to discuss in detail in a moment what services are available through our center, but there's also the Disability Services Center, Student Health Center, the Learning Academic Resource Center, which offers tutoring, Student Success Initiatives, which is for certain groups of students that may struggle in college. They have programs geared towards different groups. You can check out their website for more information. Academic advisors are a great resource. Tutoring programs, like I mentioned, through the ARC, the mathematics department, the UCI Center for Excellence in Writing and Communication. The Fresh Hub on campus offers a food pantry and other resources for basic needs. Your professors and your TAs, go to them, seek their support, use their office hours, reach out when you need help. And then student community centers. There are all kinds of centers on campus, including the Cross-Cultural Center, the Women's Hub, various cultural groups. So we encourage you to get involved and take advantage of all of these. So what does the Counseling Center offer? Well, let's dive in. First of all, here's our contact information. Our phone number is available on the screen. It's 949-824-6457. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. After hours, there's always a crisis counselor on call. You can reach them by calling our main line, and when you get the voicemail, it will tell you, if this is urgent, press number 2 to be connected to a live counselor. Follow the prompt and you'll be directed to a counselor as needed. Current offerings at the Counseling Center include a 1-session visit, which is a one-time counseling session. If you feel you have a quick issue that you just want feedback on in a 45-minute session with a licensed therapist or an intern. You can also get an initial assessment where that's an hour-long appointment with a provider. You would fill out some paperwork and then get a thorough evaluation to help us determine if you meet criteria for a diagnosis and what your best treatment plan would be at this time. We also offer urgent care services Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. You can access this by walking into our center or calling in. And these are for urgent situations, such as if you're having thoughts of harming yourself or someone else, you've had a recent assault happen to you, or you've had a recent loss in your life that's urgent and you feel you need immediate support. We also offer referral and resource support with the case managers on staff. This is for students that know they want more long-term therapy and they're seeking support in the community, but they don't know how to navigate their insurance and find a therapist that can help them. You can call into our center and ask for a meeting with a case manager to help you sort out your benefits through your insurance and find and match you with a provider in your area. The Counseling Center also offers short-term individual therapy and relationship therapy. We offer drop-in groups, workshops, and ongoing outreach provision throughout the school year. So keep an eye out for us at tabling events and special events throughout the year. Things you should know about our telebehavioral health services. So right now, the Counseling Center is operating fully telebehavioral health services, and we plan to for the future, but this may change based on university guidelines going forward. What this means is that currently we're able to offer services to students residing in the state of California. And all telebehavioral health services are offered via HIPAA compliant Zoom or phone session. All our services are free for all registered students. They're confidential. And in order to keep it confidential and private, we encourage you to be in a quiet, secure location for your session. So you can call into our center or walk in and request services, and you'll be matched with a provider that can see you for a telebehavioral health session. Again, we encourage you to call into our center for our current service offerings and any updates throughout the school year about how we're providing services to the UCI community. Next up, we have our therapy-assisted online self-help program, or TAO for short. This is what I referred to earlier, that has the mindfulness meditations in there that are free for all of UCI students to access. This is an online platform that provides tools and information to help you learn about struggles common to college students. You can develop skills and strategies to help you be successful academically and socially in college. How do you use it? Well, you can scan this QR code on this slide or look for the TAO app in the App Store. It's TAO, and it looks like the little lotus up above. You log in and create a profile with your UCI email address. Then you'll see there are modules by different topics. There are videos and brief articles you can read related to topics like depression, anxiety, relationship concerns, substance use. You can begin working on the modules at your own pace, and you can also access the free mindfulness meditation library. Once a profile is created, you can download the app to your Apple or Android device and connect anywhere. And you can get more information at your suite discussions. Lastly, we just want to encourage you to connect with us at the Counseling Center. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and we even have an app. We also have a virtual care package that you can access through our website, which is at counseling.uci.edu. Please do follow us for our most current updates about our service offerings, the groups and workshops we have, and what's available to you as a UCI student. Lastly, these are some of our references used to put this presentation together. We thank you for your time and attention, and we hope that this presentation helps to ease some of the stress of returning to campus for you.